Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Do you need further convincing that Ripple will emerge stronger from their legal battle with the SEC than they were before it began? Is there a chance that this will turn out to be a good thing? I'm going to show you that what Attorney Deaton speculated might actually be the case. Okay, I guess that's not impossible. But do you want to hear something fascinating? To be honest, I think the great majority of us in the XRP community are pretty certain that, financially speaking, our futures as XRP holders are going to be just fine. Not sure what this implies for Ripple, even if they are required by law to make a payment of some kind. So, even if there is a technical failure. However, I believe the majority of us in the XRP community are hopeful that justice will be served, that XRP will have a future in the United States. XRP deals on the secondary market will be safe from interference. That seems to sum up how we feel. There's excellent reason for our optimism, but we're not alone in feeling this way. I want to tell you about the work of Eleanor Terrett, a journalist for Fox Business. She's well connected, and she says that, according to what she's heard, every major Wall Street firm in terms of investing firms is interested in Ripple. That's intriguing to me as an XRP holder for a few reasons, not the least of which is what I mentioned a moment ago, that I have faith that everything will turn out okay because XRP is what I've always articulated it to be. Despite not hearing it from Ripple themselves, I think XRP is key to their business strategy. And I don't believe that's a contentious statement. At least, that's how I interpret it. This will be explained in detail. But I do want to clarify something before we go any further. I come from a completely monetary free background. You should not buy or sell anything based on anything I say or write because I am not giving financial advice. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. So, here's a splashy headline from the world of crypto: major investment banks take part in the Ripple IPO roadshow. Instead than making you read the entire piece, I'll explain why they chose that particular title. There's good reason for that. In order to drum up interest in an initial public offering, IPO, Ripple held a private roadshow in April, as tweeted by Eleanor Terrett, new. Apparently, representatives from every major investment bank in town were there. That's rather remarkable, wouldn't you agree? In the event that justice is not served, Ripple will go on to unless. One day, Ripple will hold an initial public offering in the United States. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, hasn't exactly been coy about his intentions. And it's just cool to see in this setting before the case concludes, because, hey, say we found out in June that the matter has been resolved. But suppose the outcome were successful and the case were closed. And then, a few months later, we learn there's going to be a roadshow for an IPO. Once such assurance is established, however, such a result is less shocking. Companies are paying attention to Ripple despite the fact that it lacks this functionality at present. As Eleanor phrased it, I believe that the big, reputable institutional investment firms are indeed taking notice. And I'll just add, if this does go the right way, and I assume that there's a lot of speculation on that front that it will also again, why would Ripple be doing this? That's going to be some excellent stuff that might generate some fireworks. And I think it's quite clear, that's all. Ripple, for one, has no plans to leave the country. My gut tells me they aren't giving up just yet. And they have faith that the right things will be done in the end. That is how I have always described their business, with XRP at its center. You can't help but wonder what this all signifies. Now, I'll be the first to admit that when Ripple announces positive developments, the XRP price usually doesn't react all that strongly. First, would this be such huge news that the XRP price would act in an unexpected way? How much would this affect XRP's price? Just saying. This would be a huge development for any organization with even a passing connection to the XRP ecosystem. That's the bare minimum, I guess. What, though, eventually occurs as the crypto asset class develops and individual cryptocurrencies are sufficiently separated out, depending on their own genuine utility that they offer? What does this signify for the future value of XRP? And so it's just one of those things when it comes to XRP or any cryptocurrency in a mature market, certainly in terms of what the price is, what people are willing to pay for any cryptocurrency and the market cap that results from it, and Ripple just so happens to be a major part of this. One thing, then, is that. But then Eleanor tweeted this as well. She emphasized that despite widespread speculation, Ripple's latest move does not signal an imminent IPO. Preparing for an initial public offering, IPO, might take up to 2 years. But the fact that Ripple is already interacting with top Wall Street experts is encouraging. And once again, guys, things are getting going before the big finish. The feeling of optimism is real. It's not simply lip service to the people who pay attention on traditional and alternative forms of media. Yes, people always say nice things, but this was more of a private matter. This is consistent with their public statements about their certainty that they are on the side of history that will ultimately prevail. That was echoed by attorney John Deaton, who tweeted that if Ripple won the SEC action or got the functional equivalent of a slap on the wrist along with a decision that ongoing and future sales of XRP are not securities, the lawsuit would prove a blessing in disguise for Ripple. And I will say, even though of course there is no way for us to know precisely what the details will be or how quickly we will get clarification regarding the secondary market transactions, etc. In retrospect, I think we'll see that this was actually a blessing in disguise, even though it seemed like a calamity at the time, because XRP will be the only large-cap crypto, including Bitcoin, with such clarity. It will be easier to understand than Bitcoin. Consider that. And that's why I figure there must be a good explanation for XRP's stellar performance this year. Well, that's not exactly nothing, either. You have to hold out until things become more obvious. I have no idea what that is, Mike. It's exciting to make wild assumptions. And I have no idea. I won't speculate on the market's direction. Not me, never. Just saying. Suffice it to say that if the future turns out to be the kind of future that it seems quite apparent Ripple is expecting, the price of XRP will soar. That's what I'm guessing, at least. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see what develops. Now, though, I want to talk about what this is going to look like, in case you were curious. I haven't broached this subject in quite some time, but it concerns the impetus behind Eleanor Terra's revelations. But have you ever wondered, given the current value of XRP, why Ripple's stock price isn't higher? I don't understand why it isn't higher than it is. Well, Brad Kimes uploaded this video where he is seen chatting with Linda Jones on his channel. And Brad Chime wrote the following to accompany this lengthy video he uploaded. After the judge's ruling, Ripple's IPO broke all previous records. Here a 25-year Wall Street veteran described what a Ripple IPO may entail. The price of a share of Ripple is in doubt after being valued at 20 times its current level. Maybe so, I guess. I found several of her points to be rather intriguing. Yes, this is a fascinating subject, but there is one major aspect on which we must differ. She was explaining that her calculations were a back-of-the-envelope estimate, which is acceptable. You don't have to be good at math to have an engaging discussion. No problem there. However, she did state that she eventually remarked something to the effect of you can't really have a valuation of XRP that is higher than the valuation of Ripple the company. Okay, so I'll try to set the stage a bit. I think it's safe to assume that by now, the vast majority of you already know this. However, Ripple stock was available for pre-IPO purchase as recently as today. In the United States, you can, but only if you meet certain requirements. So, Company 2 is a good option for that. And I'd like to quote a little of what they had to say about Ripple on their website. It's a very tiny fragment. Yeah. They wrote it right here in this paragraph. Ripple announced a $200 million buyback of all Series C shares in January 2022. The December 2019 decision to issue Series C shares to Tetragon Financial Group SBI Holdings and Route 66 Ventures suggests a valuation of $15 billion for Ripple. At $35 per share, the valuation of Ripple in the Link 2 sale is $5.7 billion. According to the announcement, Ripple's new valuation is $15 billion, which the company says is reflective of Ripple's market dominance and worldwide momentum. The year 2021 was Ripple's most successful year ever, with global business expanding at an exponential rate. So, I know, right? So how is it that you can discuss whether or not Ripple is buying at a premium based on their valuation at the time of their buyback? In my opinion, we do not know. They had a deal with Tetragon, but I haven't seen anything public about whether or not there were any particular stipulations. As a result, certain contracts may include peculiar stipulations that require special attention. And if there's going to be a repurchase or special treatment for certain shares, etc. So, I'm not sure. That could explain why Ripple paid as much as it did, giving the business a worth of $15 billion. Ripple may have a $15 billion market cap, but a study at the open market indicates that its value is closer to $5.7 billion at $35 per share. There is a discrepancy between the two, then. That could be one explanation for the discrepancy you've noticed. It's not what people are willing to pay on the free market, but rather Ripple payment. Well, that settles it then. However, that's not all. How come the lowest estimate for Ripple's market cap is $15 billion? Given the current value of XRP, why not set the bar much higher? Because, for example, Ripple has slightly less than half of the current XRP price, which is just over 50 cents, in its possession. And if Linda Jones said that Ripple has 42 billion XRP in escrow, I'll take her word for it. So, even if it were only half a dollar, that's still $21 billion. Then, there's no reason why the value of Ripple shouldn't exceed $21 billion when taking into account all relevant factors. Surely it deserves a better standing than XRP and Linda. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but it seems like she stands by what she said in the video clip, yes, based on what she witnessed. Despite what she was saying about the potential for there to be a however many-fold rise, there is one thing on which I must respectfully disagree. I'm not going to make any assumptions about that. Perhaps she has a point. The value of Ripple might potentially be enormous. She claims that Ripple has the potential to become a $1 trillion firm. I can't say when or if that will occur. And look, I've known this for like several years and have talked about it on the channel before, but I haven't mentioned it in at least a couple of years, if not longer. So if you're counting on the market cap for XRP to, specifically be a major component of that, then you start to lose me. If you want to know what Ripple is really worth, you have to evaluate the notional value of XRP, not just the value it has on paper. The value of Ripple's XRP holdings will always exceed the value of the firm itself. And I know this, because I've seen it too. I just wish I could place a name to the face. It's just been a very long time now. However, this has been discussed openly by certain Ripple employees. It might have been on Twitter, but I can't recall. I don't recall where or how I learned this, but it's true. But look, this is because the notional value of XRP is taken into account when determining the value of Ripple, the corporation. Therefore, XRP has a high value in theory. Be more than $21 billion now, right? But, maybe I'm just a bad mathematician. Perhaps I did. I haven't buttoned it up. Right. No, seriously, you should know by now that it makes no difference. I need to do some quick math right now. If 42 billion XRP is correct, then if it's only half that, it's still a lot of money. Okay, but when it comes to market cap, don't forget that Ripple's XRP holdings aren't factored in with coin's market cap or real coin. Just remember to factor that in as well. But, yeah, that'd be over $20 billion. Ripple's XRP is theoretically worth a fortune. The worldwide price of XRP would plummet if Ripple were to suddenly sell all of its XRP. Of course, they can't do that because the escrow is still open. They could sell off every single monthly escrow payment. That's possible, and it probably wouldn't be great for the XRP global price. However, the fact that they would never obtain XRP's paper worth is a consideration in Ripple's market cap. Therefore, it is known that, you can't understand when all of these important agreements have been done with Ripple and when purchasing shares of the company. As a result, the XRP held by Ripple has a high theoretical value. But you will never understand that. And because since it can never be realized, these companies are incorporating that into what they're willing to pay for Ripple shares prior to the IPO. It should come as no surprise that the value of their Ripple holdings is significantly lower than the value of their XRP holdings on paper. That's the only point on which Linda P. Jones and Ike part ways on civil terms. But certainly, that's worth a lot more, and what that could mean for XRP is anybody's guess. That's all legitimate speculation, and it's interesting to imagine how much more it could be worth. But if you're going to take whatever the paper value of XRP is and say, that's Ripple's value, I think you're doing it wrong, because even folks at Ripple have acknowledged, yeah, that's not how it works, because you'd never be able to realize that, because as soon as you start selling some of that, it goes down and down and down. I've also seen them mention that XRP is its own asset, which is relevant if that figure figures into the valuation you're using to decide whether or not to purchase shares. Why would a savvy investment firm undertake that, knowing full well they would never be able to recoup their losses? You can never achieve that goal. Not at all. Whatever the case may be, feel free to share your thoughts with me. For now, I must leave. But I couldn't be more upbeat and confident. And Ripple is even more upbeat than most of us. Pay attention to how they act, not simply what they say. This is some seriously awesome swag. That part of the economy is not where my expertise lies. None of what I say or write should be used as a basis for making any financial transactions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.